So far we have completed our example of CV web page. Now on the basis of this example, we will try to understand some basic concepts. The first concept is browser. Browser is a software application which helps us to access and to view web pages. Browser allows us to navigate through different web pages from the same website or from the different website if they are linked. There are many browsers in the market, more than 100, but most of the popular from these browsers are Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Opera, Safari, Firefox, etc. If you look at this table, you can see more than 72% of the internet user in the world use Google Chrome browser. Due to this popularity and due to other features of the Google Chrome, we are using it as a primary browser in our course. There are three major parts of the browsers. First part is title bar. On the top, the tag is called title bar. And then we have address bar where we write the address or URL of any website to reach that website. And the third part is the window, main window, where browser shows the web page. HTML editor. HTML editor is very essential tool to create HTML documents. In our previous example of CV, we have used Notepad as HTML editor to create our index.html file. There are two main types of HTML editor. First is WYSIWYG editor, which stands for what you see is what you get. The most popular example of WYSIWYG editor is WordPress. The advantages of WYSIWYG editor includes its GUI, graphical user interface, live content creation, then auto code generation is another advantage of this editor. But there are some disadvantages, including it creates too much code and you have very limited control over the design and structure of the web page. And the most prominent disadvantage of the WYSIWYG editor is that SEO and optimization is very difficult. Second type of the HTML editor is called text-based editor. We have used Notepad, and other examples include Notepad++, Sublime Text, and Visual Code. We will be using Visual Code in our code from now on. The advantages of text-based editor: you have more control over your design and structure, very easy to rectify your web page, and SEO is very easy. No unwanted HTML code, but you have to be an expert in HTML in order to use text-based editor. HTML is the standard language used to create and structure web pages. A markup language is a set of marks or tags that serve as instructions for formatting or designing document without altering its original content. We use these marks to indicate how the different parts of a document should be presented. Let us understand it with an example. We have a text here and we want to make this HTML word as heading 1, step 0 for you as heading 3, and then we want to make an unordered list as a bullet point. So what we do, we put marks that here we should put a logo, then this word should be heading 1, and then step 0 for you should be heading 3 and red, and then we want HTML, CSS, JavaScript and other as bullet point unordered list. It should look like this: HTML as a main heading, step 0 for you as a third level heading, and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, others. So this collection of marks and tag to show which part should be presented and how. So this collection of tags and marks is called markup language. Now the question comes, why do we call it hypertext markup language? For that, we take another example. For example, we have websites which has 4 pages, and then we have another website with the 4 pages. With the help of HTML tag, what we can do, from one page we can jump to another page, then we can jump to another page, then we can jump to another page of another website. That is the reason we call it hypertext markup language, because we can put hyperlink within the document to link that part to the other web page of the same website or of the different website. Structure of HTML document. If you look at the document, it started with HTML tag and it ended with HTML tag. Then there are 2 sections or 2 parts of HTML document. First part is called head and second part is called body. Within the head section we have title, then we have some other tags here, and within the body we have the content of the web page which we want to display in the window of the browser. HTML tag starts with the angle bracket or less than sign, and then we put the tag, content of the tag or instructions, and then greater than sign or angle bracket, closing angle bracket. There are two types of tags which we have studied: single tag or empty tag like BR and HR. Then we studied pair tag like H1 and closing H1. HTML tags are case insensitive. Professional prefer to write HTML tag in lowercase. HTML element is a combination of the HTML tag and the content within this tag is called HTML element or block. For example, in our CV example, H1 curriculum vitae and H closing H1 second element, H3 qualification. In order to understand HTML element and how they are translated into web page, we need to explore one of the most popular tools for the web development, Chrome's Inspect tool. This tool allows us to examine and debug HTML, CSS and JavaScript of any web page directly in the browser. For this purpose, we will open our HTML Learn folder on the desktop and open index.html and then right click anywhere on the web page, and from the pop-up menu, select Inspect tool. Look at the right of the screen. The Chrome tool has opened up. This tool displays HTML and CSS code of the page, letting us see exactly how each element of the page has been structured and styled. It's like looking under the hood of the page. Now, what happens when I move my cursor over different HTML elements in the Inspect tool? As I hover over each element of the web page, the corresponding part of the web page is highlighted on the left. For example, when I hover over the unordered list in the page, the unordered entire list is highlighted. But as soon as I move my cursor to the individual LI list item within that list, only the specific item is highlighted. This feature is incredibly useful because it connects HTML codes with the actual content of the web page, making it easier to understand how HTML codes are translated into web design. The Inspect tool is one of the essential resources for debugging and fine-tuning your web pages, and we will be using it often throughout this course, CSS course and JavaScript. So get comfortable with it. It will be one of our best friends in web development. Now, for example, you have completed developing a website. What happens next? You will write a website. Then on the internet, you will host your website on a web server. So, for example, there is a web server on internet, GoDaddy.com or there are a lot of other web server available. So you will host or you will copy that website on the web server. Then on the internet, a user opens a browser and write the URL or address of that website, which is, for example, google.com. And if he is connected to the internet, he will enter and his browser will send a request to the web server. That is called HTTP request. What is that? We will go discuss it in detail later in this course. And the web server, after receiving the HTTP request, will send a response to the browser along with that web page, HTML document to your browser, and your browser will show the web page. So it is how internet works.